Hi, I'm your host, Erica Polsinelli, and welcome to Evolve by Erica, the podcast, where we talk all things spirituality, ascension, health, wellness, and beyond. I'm so excited that you are here. Come on in. Hi, guys, and welcome to an exciting episode with the Stakt Mat girls. I'm so excited to have them on. I found out about Stakt Mat one day when I was going to a yoga class, and I saw one of my friends just walking so easily with this mat right under her arm while I was like trying to juggle my rolled up heavy yoga mat and blocks and my bag and my phone. It was like I was a walking disaster, and she was so cool, calm, and collected. And I'm like, what is this mat? And she told me about the Stakt Mat that literally folds up. And then I'm like, can I just hold it for a second? And I couldn't believe how light it is and easy it is to transport. It was truly a solution to a problem that I personally was having. So I fell in love with this invention. I've always been really into creating inventions, products, because I've just always been interested and love it. Lover of the Shark Tank for a very long time. And fell in love with this product to learn that these two girls created it from an idea that they had in 2020 during the pandemic. They actually were on Shark Tank. And in this episode, they share about that experience along with creating a product that never existed and bringing it into life, and now having this really big business and being able to sell it to individual consumers, to gyms, working in partnership during events. I'm actually going to an event tonight where they were doing it together with Estelle at a museum here in New York City, which I'm so excited for. So in this episode, we talk all about creating a product, coming up with an idea, the different roles that two partners take on in this journey, exciting collaborations and manifests that they have had as business owners, and also where Stakt is going next. And you're going to hear about an incredible product that they just released. I got the inside scoop beforehand. I was so excited about this. And I honestly can't wait to have and use this new product that you'll learn about in this episode. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. I feel like it's a long time coming and we're finally here together.
We're so excited. This is great.
I know. And it's so great because we have an event together tonight.
Oh my God, I know.
Which is so incredible.
Such a fun day.
Good timing.
I have to tell you, I'm obsessed with the Stakt Mat. My friend Diana introduced me to it because she has known you guys way back.
So, funny story. Diana and I started, a friend of mine was seeing her in Long Island and was going to the studio, and then when the pandemic happened, she's like, you want to work out virtually with this trainer? And so Diana and I started working out together and have been working out together now for 30+ years, and virtually every week. It's great.
I love it. So in our town, we live in Long Beach, and it's like a very walkable area. We all walk to like our local yoga class or yoga studio, and Diana, we're all, like rolling up our mats, carrying these heavy mats with like our bag and our block. And it's just awkward and uncomfortable. And Diana walked into the class one day with this, literally a Stakt Mat, just carrying it like under her arm. And everyone was looking at it and I was looking at it and I'm like, oh my God, that's genius. And then I met her for coffee after and I'm like, can I see this mat? And when I picked it up, I actually couldn't believe how light it was. I was like, I'm sold. Like, that is it. This is genius. And you guys are the creators of that. It's amazing.
We're glad that you love it.
Oh my gosh, love. I'm all about efficiency and things that just make sense and make life better.
Yeah.
And that's really how I feel about the mat.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about the beginning stages of like how this was created from idea to fruition?
So Taylor and I, just to give some background, we went to college together and we've kind of always had ideas and passed them back and forth with each other, but it wasn't until this one that it really stuck.
I love that about you guys. That's so fun.
And it was 2020. We were working out at home and we realized we were using our yoga mats, but we were doing so much more than yoga: Pilates, sculpt, HIIT, all these classes, and just needed more support and versatility for these routines. And half the time an instructor would be like, okay, roll your mat in half for extra support, or use a block to enhance what you're doing, and just realized there was nothing on the market that was made for these exercises. So we, started thinking, and we created the Stakt Mat, which is our hero product to date. It's twice as thick as a standard yoga mat. It folds section by section for added support, and then can transform into a block to act as that second piece of equipment.
It's incredible. So cool. So you thought of this in 2020. Were there any specific things that you were doing on your yoga mat that you were like, wow, this is the problem we're solving here?
I think the main thing was that at the time we were both getting way more into like mat Pilates and sculpt, like Millie mentioned. So we weren't necessarily practicing traditional yoga, and we didn't, like, everything we were doing needed extra support. You're on your side, you're doing a plank, whatever it may be. We felt that this like need for extra support and the ability to like layer on more and more support was crucial for the workouts we were doing.
Yeah, like elevating the wrists. I know I work out with Megan Rupp a lot on her app, and it's always like you could roll your mat or you could fold it because she uses your mat.
When I tell you we like fully manifested that partnership,
So
we like
tell me about it. I love manifestation stories.
we were chatting before we even when we came up with
the idea, we were talking on Google Chat, G-Chat. We were both at our full-time jobs, and I don't know, one of us said like, we should create a mat that's better for this. We were going back and forth, and we said, yeah, like Megan Rupp's classes. We're always in these classes, and we're always feeling like we need more support. And then
even if you watch her, like she would roll her mat to like get that extra support.
Yes.
So we kind of spoke it into existence. We talked about wanting to reach out to her for a long time. We launched the company. We got a little bit of like speed under our wings, and then we reached out to someone in partnerships there, and we're able to come up with a custom mat for her team. So it comes in like their Sculpt Society blue. And yeah, that's been a really fun partnership.
So cool. And it does. It makes so much sense for her workouts. I do them all the time, and it's the perfect. Now I do it with my Stakt Mat. I love it.
That's so great.
So after you had this idea, what were the logistics? Like, how did you actually, like, what was the first thing you did to try to get this off the ground? If someone's starting a business, I think they'd want to hear that.
Yeah. So creating a product was very opaque for us. We had no idea how that process goes. And originally, I think we thought this must exist, and we're going to find it, and then we're going to put our name on it and sell it. And after doing some more research, we realized we need to actually put pen to paper and create this product. So we, through a friend of a friend of a friend, we got connected to a designer who is an industrial designer and essentially created what's called a tech pack for us. So they basically just draw out the specifications of what we were looking to create, and then we took that to factories to get it actually produced.
Wow.
Yeah.
And if it's never been created before and it's just from your mind, like you knew what we see today is what was in your mind. You wanted it to fold and stacked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had to be able to deliver that information, and someone had to be able to see almost what you were saying because it didn't exist at all.
Definitely.
Exactly.
I would say the key there is that the designer that we worked with, it was very much collaborative in that sense. Like, we gave what we were looking to achieve, and he helped us in like formalizing the design. And the same thing with, we have a new product coming in a couple weeks that it was a very much similar process. We worked with a designer. We had an idea for what we wanted. She helped us flesh it out, put pen to paper, and we actually got a patent on that design, and her name and our names are all on the patent. So it's very much a collaborative process.
So cool.
Yeah.
Wow. So after it was created, did you have to have like a lot of samples before you were finally like, this is the one?
Yeah, we tested a lot.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I still have them all in my apartment.
We have
and
the
it's
old
like
samples.
so funny to look back and see like how things went for me
I
to
love
see,
it.
you know?
How did you think of the material? Because that's honestly, when I first held the mat, that's what really blew me away the most. Like the weight of it, how light it is to transport, I think is incredible. And it's almost like not foamy, but it's like, it's a very different texture and material than any other mat I've used.
Yeah, it's super lightweight. That was like something that was really important to us just because we're New York City based, so we're always on the go.
Yeah.
And we really wanted to merge like a kindergarten play mat or a gymnastics mat with a yoga mat And in like looking to do that, we sampled probably like 5 different materials.
Yeah.
And we learned a lot about materials through that process too.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. So cool. So after you created this and you were finally like, okay, this is the one, what was your next step? What did you do next? Was that the marketing?
So we didn't do any like paid marketing or anything for our first year. Everything was really organic. We ordered a small amount. I think it was about 500 mats. And we were like, okay, let's see if this is an us problem or if other people, you know, want this as well. And we just, you know, we got the word out there. We posted on social media. We sent it to some influencers. A lot of how we grew was through events. So we would bring mats around to as many fitness events that were happening, and just try to get the mat under as many people's feet as possible. And in the, you know, wellness and fitness community, it's very tight-knit.
Yeah.
And people, if someone likes something, they're going to talk about it or tell their community. So it helped us really get the word out there.
Yeah, really cool. And were a lot of the influencers you reach out to receptive, like willing to try the mat at first?
Yeah.
I think we really knew nothing about that. We still don't. It's a little confusing because I think some influencers will accept a gift. Others will want to get paid even to accept a gift. It's not been like a huge part of our strategy. It definitely, like, gifting is really important, but we haven't maybe dove into influencer as much as you see other brands do.
Yeah. I'd say what's lucky for us too is gifting a yoga mat. It's much less saturated than gifting a beauty product.
Yeah.
So I feel like we've gotten lucky there in terms of someone posting it because they're not getting 100 of them.
Yeah.
And that it's so different than any other
Right.
mat.
Yeah.
Like, I remember at the time when I found out about you guys, I had just bought, like, I think it's Manduka mat. I had a Bala mat. I had another mat. And I had so many mats, but I knew I needed yours because of the versatility and just how much it makes sense. Like, period, the end. It's just so useful and convenient. So it just makes it so different. Even though I had a bunch of mats, I was like, I think this is like the final destination.
That
you know?
makes us really happy.
So happy.
Yeah, and I use them for my meditation events. So what I do with Kundalini Yoga, we need a full-size mat some of the time, and then we eventually go into easy pose. That is not easy. Like, the yogis call it easy pose because you're just sitting crisscross, but it takes a lot of core strength, a lot of back strength to sit there for 11-minute meditations, 33-minute meditations. Your legs fall asleep, they're going numb, like all the things. And when I did the retreat in June, I knew I wanted your mats there because it was the perfect solution to that, because we had it full as we were doing our kriyas, our movements, laying on them for shavasana. But when it came time to sit for a long meditation, we stacked it up and it was like a little bench for them, and it made it so much more comfortable.
I love hearing like different ways that people use it, because
It's genius.
especially when we first released the product, we had an idea of like, you know, maybe 10, 20 ways you could use the product, and we've since seen 100 different things.
It's so cool to see how our community and like just clients are finding different ways to use the mat.
And I think that's what really creates a community around a product.
Yeah.
Because I have chills actually, because it's like, you have this thing you guys made, but now the community takes it and they're like, wow, I could actually do this with it. And then it continues to expand and evolve. And that's what like gives so many people a sense of not ownership, but just community in the product.
Totally. And we host like these virtual classes once a week with instructors. And it's so fun to see the different ways they use the mat and like the way it brings their community together with our community and our community into their community. And it's all one big happy family.
That's so amazing. Is it through Zoom?
Yeah,
through Zoom.
Yeah. How cool. And it's like, that's like the roots of it, you know, like starting in 2020.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so nice. I love that. It's like,
and we're like, me and Millie are on every single one.
Are you?
It's not.
So when are these classes?
They fluctuate in days.
But during the work week.
During the work week, pretty much. They'll happen at 6 p.m. Eastern, sometimes in the morning. Tomorrow we have one in the middle of the
lunch. Like, we try to vary them up so everyone
and they're always
can join.
free.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What does that every day look like for you guys? I'm sure it looks different because you have different roles. I would love to hear from both of you.
Every day is different, which I think is what makes it so fun.
Yeah,
totally.
And it just allows us to be flexible and on the go. I'd say What is every day? I mean, I think for me, a lot of the day is putting together email campaigns or reaching out to partnerships and influencers and just trying to like keep that social presence and seeing. I think what we always talk about, what we struggle with, is like dealing with the now and then also dealing with the future and trying to balance both of those things at the same time. And for both of our roles of what we do, we have to do that. And so it's just finding time to do both of those things.
Yeah, it's so true, because it's like living here, present moment, and doing all the things that need to get done here. But then it's also things are being planned and you want to be part of those amazing things.
Exactly.
And it's looking ahead as well.
Yeah.
Totally.
Oh, a big part of what I do now is also event planning. We've been trying to like have events every month. And
so are they Stakt events or is it teaming up with others?
It's both, honestly. Like the one tonight obviously is teaming up. We have one for August. We did 4 like Stakt series with different instructors at Nomo Soho. And so just trying to find different ways in different places.
So great. And what does your everyday look like? Ish.
What does my everyday look like? I would say most days we both have at least 3 or 4 calls on the calendar. We're always on the phone with every kind of vendor or person you could imagine. So we have an outsourced marketing agency, an outsourced customer service team, an accounting team, and our sourcing folks who are at the factory. So we speak with a number of different people just to make everything happen. But I focus a lot on our bookkeeping. So kind of boring and dry, but making sure that like our business is, kept organized in that sense. And we are aware of how much we're selling, how much we're spending. We also have a third team member who focuses on B2B sales, so selling to gyms and studios, which is a big part of our footprint, and strategy. So we all kind of it's amazing. It's like I don't know how most entrepreneurs would answer that question because it sounds so cheesy to say every day is different, but it's really
truly
true.
Yeah, it is.
There's constantly emails to get to. Like it's just 10 emails, get them down to 1, 10 emails, get them down to 1 every few hours. So that's a big part of it. But yeah, for the most part, I'm focusing on like our finances and our product and supply chain, making sure that the product actually is available to get to our customer.
So cool. What are some gyms that people would see Stakt Mats in or anywhere?
It depends where you are.
Yeah.
We have about 90 studio partners throughout the country. In New York City, we're at KK Sweat, Soto Method, Live Method. I don't know where most of your listeners are, but that would be the primary ones there.
So amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Would you say your focus is in one specific space where it's like, I guess you called it B2B, or is it individual sales, or is it the events that you're doing? Like, where would you say the majority of your focus is?
Majority of our sales come from direct to consumer, so selling on our website.
Yeah.
The events that we do, the community outreach that we do, that fuels the direct to consumer side of the business, but it also fuels the B2B, which is studios and gyms. Because people who see us are then talking to their instructors or they own a studio themselves. So the majority is direct to consumer, but a good portion of our business is selling to gyms and studios. Yeah. We also just came out with the Stakt Mat Pro. So
I heard.
Yeah, it's our second Stakt Mat. It was designed with studios in mind. We created it after receiving like years of feedback around like the durability of the product. And it's designed essentially to withstand 10 classes a day in a gym and not easily scuff and be easy to clean. And so we just released that a couple weeks ago.
Cool. I have to check it out. I heard about it. I didn't see it
yet.
Get you
but
I'm really excited for that. It's incredible.
Yeah. It's always very fun for us to see the mat see the mat in a studio or even just see someone on the street walking with one. Yeah, it's still so surreal. Because to us it's a little company and it's so cool to see people who we don't know carrying
it must be amazing. Just even how you were saying all of these other teams that you have, it started with you two and now you're managing so much together.
It's
crazy.
And with so much support because you've grown so much.
Yeah. Every day we get a little more professional.
Your favorite line?
There was a period where that was like the truest line ever because it was like I can't even tell you how we were managing everything.
No,
We
it's
weren't.
crazy.
And then every day we realized there's like little things to do to make things more professional. We actually just did our first like 1 year planning summit. We were in Philly, me and Millie and our third hire, Alex, and also Patrick, who owns the warehouse that we fulfill the product out of, came in. And we spent 2 days just like planning 2025, which was like so professional for us.
So exciting. I totally get it. I hear you. It's just kind of like going with it until you're realizing like, okay, I can be more efficient. I can be more professional. I can make things
100%.
flow more.
This is real.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also finding that balance of like the structure and needing the structures in place and the flow and creativity and just space.
And you need both, because if you're too structured, and then you're going to be too stubborn to let anything, come in that's supposed to happen. And if you're too flexible, you don't do things that you need to do. So
it's so true.
We also would not have started this if we wanted to be in our structured
exactly
lives.
100%.
We wanted the startup culture.
We definitely have that like risk component to us that you need.
Did you guys go on Shark Tank?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, it was very fun.
It was a very surreal experience.
It was great.
I feel like I heard that you went on Shark Tank. I'm like, I just remembered. Happy I remembered.
No, it was a very cool
I need to watch
experience.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. You can
Have
find
to watch it. I love that show.
Taylor and I both were, for years have been such big fans of the show. And so they actually found us on TikTok and reached out to us.
They found you?
Which,
So cool.
I mean, they find you to apply. So, like, you still go through the whole process. But we're like, is this person real? Did they actually work there?
Like, is this a scam or is this real?
But, I mean, from start to finish, we had such a great experience. Being on the show itself, everyone was so nice to us. And, like, I think it really propelled our business and allowed us to get exposed to so many new people.
Oh my gosh. And did someone take you on or did you leave?
We made a deal on the show, but we never like closed the deal after the show, but we did make a deal on the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who was it with?
Lori.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's
the episode was
really
great.
amazing. I'm definitely going to watch it because I love that show so much. And I think, of course, you guys like the show too because you're literally inventors and entrepreneurs, and it just makes sense.
Preparing for the show too was like a level of challenge that we never had experienced before.
Why? What did you have to do?
Well, firstly, you have to know that like you know your business inside and out.
Better than inside and out.
Yeah, better than inside and out. We had only been running the business for 6 months, so we didn't have like a very clear defined vision. And there was just a lot of work that went into making sure we were prepared for the show. And then also just preparing to like be on TV and be in front of the sharks and go on camera. That's unique.
Do you have any conversations with them outside of recording? Or is it really like you're presented to the sharks?
It's really just presented.
It's really like what you see on TV.
You walk in, you're there
you're in there for a lot longer than is actually on TV, but you don't speak to them or see them or anything.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
Cool. So from there, you already launched the product. That's how they found you. And then after it aired, you feel like you got a lot of exposure through it?
Totally.
So cool.
It definitely allowed us to reach new consumers. And I think for us too, we were so focused on this millennial consumer, and the consumer who watches Shark Tank is also a little older, so and the mat, obviously it's supportive enough for your joints, so it really leans into that older consumer. So it really kind of opened up the doors for us there too.
Yeah, really cool. Along with that, is there any other moments that were like game changers that were so exciting, things you've manifested? I know you said like the Megan Roop experience and collaboration. Any others that stand out in your mind?
We made the Times top 200 products of 2023.
Wow.
We were the chosen fitness product, like best inventions of 2020.
Wow.
Yeah, best inventions.
Yeah.
So that was a really surreal one.
Cool.
And then today is actually a very special day because our first patent was granted today.
Really? Congrats.
Thank you.
August 27th.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is so amazing.
So there's a lot of wow moments.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other, I mean, we have our event tonight together. I'm so excited.
So excited.
Can't wait with Estelle. Any other events you guys have coming up at the end of 2024, start of 2025 that you'd like to share?
Yeah, we have, like we spoke about earlier, we do the virtual events all the time. We'll be doing a movement series in Philly in September.
Wow.
So we have a bunch of classes there.
We have one in LA in September.
We've got an event in LA in September. We'll do a number of events, I'm sure, October through December, that if you follow us or subscribe to our email in New York, we'll be promoting those. And then, I don't know. I think those are, that they pop up, but there's always a couple
There's
of
always
months.
something going on.
Exciting. And is there anything that, well, before I get there, I want to talk about you going to California and Philly. So, I mean, you're taking this like nationwide. Is it beyond that? Other countries
Right
yet,
now,
or just...
we sell in the U.S. and Canada.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And these events, you're reaching out to just to continue to expand
Yes,
the brand and share?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So New York, where I think I said this earlier, but like we really feel like we were able to kind of get our hold here through these events and just trying to pop up as much as possible. And we want to be able to emulate that in other spaces and get involved in other communities besides New York. So just trying to, see where our consumer is and, pop up where they can see us too. It also, we now, as you know, we have the storage locker where people can rent, instructors or brands can rent mats in New York, and we want to be able to offer that experience in other cities as well.
So cool. I actually wanted to share how easy it was for me. Like, it was just such an incredible, seamless experience to be able to rent the mats and use them at my retreat day and then return them. And I felt so grateful that you're able to do that for people like me and other people who are holding classes.
Someone, I forget who it was, but someone who had rented emailed me after and was like, it's just so special to be able to like bring this experience to my community and like have it elevates it instead of having everyone to bring their own mat, and like just brings this like continuity to the room.
Absolutely. And the things you have in place made it so easy for me as well. Just like getting them, receiving them, returning them, like the logistics was just seamless and incredible.
Yeah.
It really was.
That's great.
No, I think that's important because when you're running your own business, it can be overwhelming. And doing something as simple as that can feel like a really big task. But for me, doing it alone, it was like easy. It was easy and so worth it. It was incredible.
That's great.
So anything exciting coming up that you want to share? Yeah, I want to hear.
We have, so before I get into that, I'd say like our biggest focus this year and next year is really growing from Stakt the Mat to Stakt the brand. And so we had our first line extension come out, and we are releasing our first new hero product.
I guess by the time you're listening to this,
it'll be here.
Yes.
So we've created adjustable weights that are intended to help you flex at a lower weight range. Most of the adjustable weights on the market, brands like Bowflex, for example, are for people flexing between 10, 15, 20, 25 pounds. They're bulky, they're large.
My husband just brought a pair home. They're
they're great.
They're and
huge,
really intimidating because even if I'm doing 10 pounds, I'm like scared because it looks like 500.
Yeah, exactly. So for those of us who are doing yoga sculpt, mat Pilates, these workouts where you're flexing at a lower weight range, we've created, the first release is an adjustable weight system that flexes from 2 to 4 to 6 pounds, so that you have those three options all in one. And they're super sleek. They're made from silicone, and they're just beautiful. And like we're excited. We're excited to see everybody using them and get feedback and continue to kind of iterate on this new product.
I'm so excited for you. I'm like, I can't contain it. It's just so beautiful to see you guys get these ideas, bring them into fruition, and truly speak to the community of like at home workouts or even in studio workouts. But it's so inspiring and incredible.
Thank you.
Because I don't think anything's better than like creation mode and just being in that state, but then also making sure it comes to fruition if it's meant to. Because
100%.
sometimes we could get like stuck in the idea phase.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so cool to see what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
So with this shift of the product to brand focus, are you going to be continue to create products?
Yes,
Is that the
that's
goal?
100%.
Yes,
Oh my
goal,
gosh. I'm so excited.
Our goal is really to be a wellness and fitness lifestyle brand, and to have more products. We don't want to bombard everyone too quick. We want to be thoughtful in what we're creating, but definitely want to be a name in the space.
Do you have more ideas? I'm not asking for the ideas. I'm just wondering. Do you have more ideas?
There's a couple on the docket. So
there are.
Yeah.
Okay.
And our goal, in general, we release accessory products. So this year we released a carrier bag, a cleanser spray, and soon a yoga mat towel. Pilates socks. And next year we have a few more accessories that will come out in addition to, more novel products that you'll see down the line, similar to the weights. And then I'd say one big focus for us and how we express creativity in the product space is through partnerships. So like we spoke about earlier, the Sculpt Society mat was that first collaborative effort that came to fruition through a new product release. And we just released a partnership with Prince, the tennis brand. So it's a carrier bag that you can hold your Stakt Mat and a tennis racket or a pickleball racket, co-branded with them. And then we have a few more that are coming out end of 2024, early 2025 that are partnered products essentially. So
amazing.
Partnerships for us have been such a huge part of our strategy, and just it's such a great way to connect to their consumer and also bring our consumer to them and just expand together.
So exciting.
Thank
you.
Oh
my gosh. How do you come up with your ideas? Do you guys tap into, I don't know, when I meditate, I get ideas. Is there a way that you're more open to ideas, or do they just come to you?
I feel like we probably each have different answers.
Yeah.
I would say for me, it's very much just comes to me, but I'm also very inspired by other products, if that makes sense. The initial idea for the weights was birthed out of seeing a Russian doll, if you know what those are, in
do you know the dolls that go into each other?
Yeah,
I think they're called Russian dolls. They're wooden and they nest in each other.
Yeah.
So I had seen one, I think it was in my aunt's house or my parents' house, and was what if those were weights? Okay, it's nesting into each other. That's not really what the weights have become. That's not where they landed.
Yeah.
But I feel my ideas are just I'll see something and be oh, that would be cool if it was used in a different way.
Yeah.
And then also when we work out, just
I feel there's a lot that we our whole vision is making things more functional.
Mm-hmm.
And so just finding products that maybe already exist that we can create differently.
Yeah.
And that's how the mat was born. It was a baby between a gym mat and a yoga mat, and the weights kind of came off of there's nothing in this space. So kind of seeing what's out there already and adapting on that.
Yeah,
for
so
us.
cool.
And
Really
obviously
cool.
everything we're making is intended to get people to move more. So and part of our work is literally attending workout classes and attending events and getting to work out. So it's easy to see a gap when you're around the products a lot or the space a lot.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that's also how it could drop in, while you're in something and you're I wish.
Yeah, exactly. Totally.
Yeah.
Do you guys know your astrology and human design?
I don't.
I don't know. What's the second? I know my
human design.
I know my.
I'm so curious.
sign.
What you
I know my
guys
sign.
are.
I'm a
What are you?
I don't
Tell
know
me.
my full chart.
Who's
I'm a
your sun
Pisces.
sign?
Yeah.
Pisces.
I'm a
and
Pisces as
you're-
well.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Dreamers.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Both
I
Pisces.
love.
I feel
I'm
I'm
so
a rising
curious.
Taurus.
Okay.
I have an app that tells
But that's
me.
an earth sign, so it's the dream space to earth, which I like.
We're
it
definitely
makes sense.
different rising signs.
I think I'm a Taurus. I could have made that up.
I think
have the
I would
co-star
love to know your human design.
I love this
too.
stuff. Oh my god, what
you
is
have
that?
to look into that.
Yeah, can you explain?
It's similar to astrology. It's based on the same information. So
Okay.
where you were born, the time, the
Is this
exact
the map
time.
lines thing.
That's astrocartography,
Okay,
which
yeah.
is I feel it's all kind of connected, but human design puts us into these categories of manifestor, manifesting generator, projector, or reflector. And it's basically how we show up in the world, our strengths and what we have found as a challenge, but it's also our gift, and it's just cool. I feel like one of you or both of you might be a projector, because projectors help to see how things could be made just like more accessible and easier. And I just have this hypothesis that one of you might be a projector.
Wait, that's
But,
so
how do we find out?
Look
where do we
into
look?
it. Jenna Zoe has a really great
Okay.
website. You could enter the information. It's myhumandesign.com.
Cool.
You can enter it there and find out, and then report back.
Okay,
I
we'll
wanna
report
know.
back.
I
Is
wanna
it like a
know.
quiz or is it more based on
No, it's not a quiz. It's
interesting.
like given to you just like astrology is,
Okay.
based off of your location, birthday, all of that.
I did the astro
Cartography,
Yeah.
yeah.
It told me I'm like happiest in Barcelona or something. And I was
Love.
like, I should move.
Yeah.
From New York and
I'd be
Liverpool.
It was like
get out
it
of
draws lines. Millie, I think
Yes.
I've told you this.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I remember doing this, and it was actually meaningful places to me. It was like New Orleans,
cool.
Spain,
Yes,
like
I
things
remember
that I
that.
was like,
Yeah,
wow,
yeah, yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. But look into that and let me know. I think it's so cool how I think a lot of brands strive to create a community around a product, but yours is just like, it just feels so organic, and
Thank you.
it just like lives as
Yeah.
both of those things, like products, but also community. And I think you guys do that in such a beautiful
you.
way.
I think the product really lends itself to it in the sense that, you know, it's harder to get people maybe to rally around something like a toothpaste from a community perspective because you use that at home by yourself. But like a workout mat, you're in a classroom, you're with other people, like you're intended to like connect with others.
Yeah.
So
So true.
Yeah, you guys are so inspiring. I'm so grateful we got to have
Thank
this
you.
conversation.
Too.
And I'm,
this is great.
yeah, this is so nice. I'm going to link. I actually have a referral link. So I'll link it to this episode.
Amazing.
Everyone can shop there. It's beyond worth it. Like I'm so grateful for it. And it makes your life so much easier, more convenient and accessible. And I'm just so grateful you guys took the time to come on.
This
I'm
was
so
great.
excited for your launch. I can't wait to get the weights.
Yes.
And where can everyone find you and follow along?
Our website is shopstakt.com, and you can follow us. This is kind of our handle while you're listening to us. Maybe Stakt.mat or maybe Shop Stakt. We're in the
trying to
process of a
change our handle.
change.
I feel you
So-
guys.
Takes time.
Follow
I
us wherever you
feel
can find
you.
us. You know how to search.
We could actually put in the
Amazing.
URL to
Amazing.
your
Cool.
Instagram
Okay.
there
Thank you.
in the show notes.
We're trying to get it changed
Um,
before the weights, but
I feel you. I've considered it too. It's just
It's a process.
It's a process.
All these things are a process. But I'm so grateful. And I know my community, those that have already experienced the mat in person at events, have loved it. And I'm sure so many more will enjoy it and love it too.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank
This was
you.
great.
So great.
Nice hanging out.
I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation as much as I had. I could talk to them forever. They're so sweet. And I just truly think when you create something and invent something, that just makes so much sense. It's truly genius. So I loved picking their brain for the last however many minutes or hours we were together. And I hope that you enjoyed everything you heard on your end too. They're so inspiring. And I think I know that there's so much more for them. Like I can just see so much success in their future. I actually think one day I'm going to look back and be like, oh my gosh, I met with them. I think their brand is truly going to just continue to rise and blow up because, again, I just think it's so genius. So I hope you enjoyed. We've put some links in the show notes so that you can shop the Stakt Mat. And if you have any questions, you could always reach out to us or to them if it's about their product. But I hope you enjoyed, and I can't wait to see you next time. May the longtime sun shine upon you. Satnam.